Yeah, I know. It covers the statement.
Any comment at all?
Any comments, Senator Smith?
Any comments, Senator Smith?
Well, we're mad. We're mad, but we'll come back with a statement, you know, in the next few days or something like that. But right now we ain't got anything, so.
All right.
Just,
Excuse me, I'll walk behind you. Okay. The other three are lawyers.
Not guilty of any of this. Because it's that simple. I don't know what else to say. He's not guilty of any of this. You know, you got a 65-page press release in front of you, not an indictment. I mean, that's all this is. It's a 65-page press release. They pick out the bits and pieces, and it's going to be the worst of the worst. And what we're asking the media, what we're asking all the public people that are out there, just sit tight. Let's get this whole picture. This aggressive politics. There's no question there was aggressive politics on both sides of this issue, but you just don't see any of that. So we're going to defend these charges. We are disappointed that these charges came, but we're especially disappointed that they came 30 days before an election. If anybody thinks that this is not designed somehow to influence this election, then I got, you know, you may as well be on the beach and have BP come up and say we're from BP and we're here to help.
Okay.
I mean, there's no question they've done that from the very beginning. The Department of Justice killed the bill back in when it was in the legislature, and now 30 days before an election, they've hustled this indictment up. There's no question that that's happened. We'll have to let it play out. That may or may not be an issue at trial, but we'll let it play out however it is. All I can ask is that when you hear the whole story, you're going to see that Mr. Gilley and I think just about everybody else in this case is not guilty of these charges.
Is this partisan politics? Does it have anything to do with?
I don't know if it's partisan politics. I just think it's just ridiculous politics. I mean, you've got members that work for the governor of the state of Alabama that are working this investigation. So you tell me whether or not there's any partisan politics or not. You got task force members who are part of this investigation that are answering directly to the Department of Public Safety, and the governor who's already issued a press release today. So I'm going to let everybody else decide whether or not it's partisan politics 30 days before an election in which this issue is the biggest issue on the table.
Even though DOJ had the press.
It doesn't matter who's in charge of it. I mean, it doesn't matter who's doing it. I mean, yeah, anybody can let their agendas take over for something. I'll let everybody else. You just look at the facts, look at what's happened in this investigation, and let everybody decide for themselves.
Did they come in armed to come get him, or?
Well, Mr. Gilley was out of town. He had planned on being out of town. He was out of town, so we called him. We had sent, we told him last week, we're hearing rumors about all this stuff. He's happy to turn himself in, but for some reason, the federal government decides they got to play heavy-handed and let everybody purple walk and make a big splash. Now again, you tell me what the agenda is in order to make sure you get all these people walking in handcuffs into the federal courthouse. And again, with the governor, see how this plays out in the next few days, folks, with the Republican candidates and those that have opposed gambling legislation. You see how it plays out and tell me whether or not there's politics involved and whether or not the whole arrest was part of that. Yeah.
Doug, how do you defend the alleged comments that they claim your client made?
Well, I hadn't seen all the alleged comments. I've only seen the ones they put in their press release of their indictment. You know, they've told everybody that there are hundreds of hours of tape recordings. This was a big deal. There was a lot of phone calls out there. So when we see the big picture, then I can answer that.
When you refer to people working for the governor, can you be more specific about who you're talking
Well,
to?
you ask the government. They got people with the Department of Public Safety who have been running this show, who have been an integral part of it. They run it. They're ABI agents. They're running the show. They're serving target letters. They're serving subpoenas. They're making arrests today. So there is something wrong given the political nature of this and all that the governor and his task force have done, when the Department of Justice allows people with that kind of biased interest to help work on this case, there's something wrong with it.
Is that odd though that the Obama administration and the governor would be working together?
I don't know whether it's odd. You can't put this with, quote, the Obama administration versus the governor. This is what's going on in Montgomery, Alabama. And there's a history of that here in Montgomery, Alabama. And, you know, no administration can change that. Thank y'all.
Here comes. Here comes. Here comes.
B-R-E-T-T. Bloomston is B-L-O-O-M-S-T-O-N. I represent Jared Massey. My name is Brett Bloomston. I represent Jared Massey. Today in the wee hours of the morning, Jared was arrested while taking his child to school. This is an unfortunate way to begin this process, very unfortunate way to start what we have asked for a long time, and that was our day in court. We had conversations and dialogue with the U.S. Attorney's Office last week and Department of Justice lawyers. However, they chose to show up and raid here and arrest all of the defendants, for exception of a few that they couldn't get a hold of today. We are just now receiving copies of a 65-page indictment. It's premature to address that indictment at this time. We're looking forward to Jared's day in court to prove his innocence and to show that this is nothing more than a political and ill-motivated prosecution. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.